Hey, welcome everybody. This is Glenn Ackerman, Energy Awareness Training. Going live here this morning on an amazing topic, which is basically how to get yourself into high performance mastery. In other words, how to get yourself from where you are and identifying any of the ruts you've been in or identifying any of the stuff that's holding you or blocking you out into high performance mastery. In other words, getting, doing, being, and having all the things that you want to have in your life, okay? Energy awareness training tools will be great in being able to give you a new perspective. And that's kind of the cool things that I like to share with you guys. So many of you have remarked to me that in the classes that I do, let me get this light here, get a little light. There, that's a little better, isn't it? Great. So many of you have mentioned to me that this has been so helpful because in understanding energy awareness, looking at all kinds of subjects in life from an energetic point of view has really opened up a new understanding, a new perception, a new dimension of how things work. And that's the purpose of us being here doing this broadcast. And today I got some really good information to give you. I've got some real great insights, and I'm stoked to be able to bring this with you. So as people are coming on, I'd like to welcome everybody to our broadcast. And as normal, I'm here with my guitar, and I'm going to play a little piece that I've been working on. It's an instrumental. And while people are coming on, please enjoy it. And we'll be starting in about 2 minutes. Okay, this is my... Tuning up. A little sharp, huh? Okay. Hey everybody, welcome. This is Glenn Ackerman. We're just about to start our broadcast today. It's going to be on energy awareness training and how to get from where you are into high performance training. So let me give you a couple of riffs here and then we'll begin here. Carter's want to tune today. There we go. Okay, let's go. We got a lot of people on, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll work on that piece for next week. Okay, today's topic, energy awareness training and how to get high performance out of yourself. How to get from where you are to where you want to be. And this is a great topic. And it's an important one. I think it's something that everybody should know. It's taken me years to amass the knowledge and the perception of understanding the information I want to give to you today. So let's first of all address the situation. Here we are, and all of us are living, our lives the best that we can live. And we're working, we have our family life, we have our professional life, our career life, we have our health life. We've got a lot of aspects to living. And it's interesting. You may have one part of life handled, but another part isn't handled. Like, for example, you may have your career together, but maybe your health routine or your that healthy part of your life to maintain health is kind of dragging. Maybe you've got finances happening, but relationship-wise, things are topsy-turvy, or you don't have the relationship you want, or the relationship that you're in is kind of stuck and kind of in a rut, whatever it is. So understand that we have various levels of success and performance in our lives. Some things are a piece of cake, some things that we can nail, and other things, it's like moving a rock to get it going. Okay, so just think for a minute. Just going to have you be aware, take a moment. And as you look at your life and as you evaluate, because we're always doing this, by the way, we're always evaluating, how's my life going today? How's my money? How's my health? How's my relationship? How's my situation? How's my car? How's the house? Just constantly the thoughts are evaluating. So let's take a moment. Just take a breath. And let's evaluate, okay, what's going good in our lives? That feels good, right? What's going good? And we're talking about the areas of health, our health routine, our exercise, our diet, our energy maintenance part, our career, our money, our investments, our family life, where they're showing up strong in our family, our relationship. So most of us have stuff that, as I mentioned, piece of cake, and others have stuff that's a challenge. By the way, I want to say hi to everybody. Come on here. Jonas, welcome. Can I play Fire and Rain? I would have, Mike. It's funny. It's raining here today, and the guitar's out of tune, so it's kind of weird me playing that. But maybe, Auntie. Hey, welcome you guys. Gus, glad to have you here. Jonas, Michael, John. Hey, welcome you guys. Michael, glad to have you here. Today we're talking about energy awareness and high performance, and the ability to get the best out of yourself and to identify what are the pockets that are keeping that from happening. Okay, so let's go over this here. Now, let me ask you, so as you think about what's going on in life, let me ask you a question. What is it that needs improvement? What is it that the part of your life that you wish you were getting that going a little bit better, and you wish you were on top of that? Let's identify that, because in what I do, I should mention that here, energy awareness training. What's that? I teach it, I train it. Energy awareness training is a methodology, a high performance technology actually, that is able to identify the hidden energies, the hidden effects, the hidden influences inside our lives that prevent us from having our full potential. And some of you have heard my story that for many years I was trying to overcome this stuff. So I'm an expert on this field of being blocked and self-sabotage and identifying the energies that are affecting us. So let's just start there. Inside us, we have a variety of energies. What do I call energies? Thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviors. And all of these energies are inside us, constantly pulling us in different directions. Now, in the self-improvement field or the personal development field, they don't talk about that too much. They talk about, well, think positive and have a goal, make a plan, work your plan, and then succeed. Well, that works for about 3% of the population. 97% of the people have a problem with that. And that's why the personal development industry is booming, because people go, well, I read this book. That's not it. Oh, maybe this book will be it. No, that's not it. Oh, what about this book or this training or this seminar or this activity? So what we want to identify today is we want to go deeper. And I want to share with you why energy awareness training is one of the most powerful methods to identify what it is that's holding you back. And I want to go into that and give you guys some really important data, information, and some tools to be able to deal with that. So that in mind, operating energetically. Now, what energetically? A lot of people, energetically, what does that mean? Well, one of the greatest scientists that ever lived, or at least in our day, Nikola Tesla, said, if you want to understand the mysteries and the secrets of life, then you'll start looking at things as energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's a whole new paradigm. And I teach that now. That revolutionized my life, to be able to see things in terms of energy. because most of us were never taught that. We never need to see things in energy, because in the dimension that we live in, which is the third dimensional reality, we're kind of looking for what we can see, what we can hear, what we can feel. We're kind of sense operated people. And yet so much of life is beyond that. And so much of life is a mystery. Why does this happen? Why did that happen? I wanted to be here and I ended up over here. Or I got into this relationship to be happy and it ended up making me miserable. Or I thought this was going to be my dream job and it wasn't what I expected. So there's so much there's so much hidden aspects of life. And one of the energetic laws I teach is the law of paradox. The law of paradox, which is basically some things are the way they seem to be, some things aren't the way they seem to be, right? And so much of our lives, some things are, some things aren't. Some people are what they seem to be. Some people aren't what they seem to be. So there's a lot of things that we don't understand growing up in the normal education process that we go through. And when I discovered energy training and energy awareness and the understanding that we're operating in an energetic world, everything that we're dealing with in this planet is energetic. Dealing with people, energetic. Maintaining our health, energetic. Making money, energetic, right? Everything that we're doing is an energetic exchange. So when you recognize, whoa, there's something more here than meets the eye, it gets pretty interesting. So these energies that are in us, this is new technology. You never read this in out there. I don't think there's any too much. There's people who talk about it in different frameworks, but as far as the understanding of energy, this is kind of a new paradigm. You're starting to hear more about this energy here, energy there, energy this. Why? Because it opens up another dimension of reality to be able to see things that we don't see. And so many of us, when you have a problem or you have a situation or you have a challenge and you don't know the answer to it, you got this thing that you got to deal with it, and you just can't think it, or you can't figure it out, or you don't know what it is. That's what causes us as problems, which is situations that are causing us some kind of pressure or some kind of uncomfortability. We don't know what to do about it, right? Relationships, sometimes you're in a situation, it's going so, you don't want to leave, but it's very uncomfortable. You don't know what to do about it. Maybe, you have a job or you're dealing with somebody at work, and the energy's kind of weird and you're not sure what to do about it. Well, when you become energetically trained, energetically aware, you open up a whole new understanding, a whole new realization of life. Why? Because, follow me on this. We're all energy, right? People, places, things, everything, even the table, the computer, you name it. It's all energy. So if it's all energy, then understand that energy has a power, it has a purpose, it has a direction, it has a frequency or a signature, and it gives us information. And this was the breakthrough that I had in trying to in moving my life forward. Is whoa, there are things that I didn't understand. Went through 12 years of school, high school, college, and there are things about life that I wasn't taught there. And it's the ability to be energetically aware. Now, energetic awareness. I use this example. You've heard it before. Hang with me. Energy is like an iceberg. There's 10% above the water, right, that we can see, and there's 90% below the water that we can't see. And the Titanic wasn't sunk by the 10% it could see, it sunk by the 90% it couldn't see. So I have a saying that I teach here in my classes, in my one-on-one trainings, and that is, that which we can see, we can control. That which we can't see controls us. And this shines the light on the biggest mystery of human beings, which is, why do I want to be here and I'm down here? Or I want to make changes. I know I need to make changes. I'm clear I need to make changes. but I don't make the changes. Or I know that this is the right thing to do here, this is the right thing to do, but I'd rather be over here. So all of us are familiar with this internal tug of war of one side of us wants to go one way and the other side of us wants to go the other way. So what do we do about it? Well, it's pretty tough to do anything about it unless you're energetically aware, because these energies, and we have dozens and dozens of energies inside us that are constantly trying to get our attention, trying to lead us in a certain way. So when I'm talking about energy, I'm talking about a force, I'm talking about a motivation, a behavior, something that's pulling us. Like for example, the example of losing weight. Part of you wants to lose that weight, but part of you likes eating apple pie late at night or ice cream late at night. So you've got these two dichotomies. Now today we're talking about high performance. So how does that work in high performance? Well, first of all, to understand what we're dealing with. And what we're dealing with conflicting energies. We're dealing with conflicting motivations. And these conflicting motivations, pulling us one way, pulling us the other, tend to just have us not do anything. I need to, the most popular ones that we don't do are working out or working on your diet. And that's what most people want to change. So part of you wants to eat right, part of you likes the junk food, or part of you knows you need to exercise, but another part of you wants to sleep another hour or go have pizza. So this is the human situation that we're dealing with, which is a constant conflict, internal conflict. And it's interesting because everybody looks so normal, don't they? They look so normal, and you wouldn't think that people have this going on. And no one ever mentioned this to us when we were growing up, that all through schools that say there's a part of you that wants to go one way and there's a part of you that wants to go the other way. And unless you recognize what these parts are and how they work and what to do about them, you're going to be pretty much living your default mechanism. Your default mechanism meaning, whatever you're used to, whatever you're comfortable for, maybe a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but that's about it. And you grow up and then you quote Shakespeare, who said, most people live lives of quiet desperation. Wow, that's a big quote. What does that mean? It simply means that you could be more, you could do more, you could have more, you could make more, it. There's a part of you that knows that. But there's a part of you that also wants to let you slide. There's a part of you that says, yeah, I know, one day you'll do it, but not now or later. Can anybody relate? All you guys on the call here, got more people joining us. Hey, Jonas, welcome. All you guys on the call here, can you relate to what I'm talking about? Hi, Nikki. Hey, Jay. Great to have you. Jay Sargent, the great coach himself, is here on the call with us. Ivor, hey. So you have that internal tug. Can you guys relate to what I'm talking about? If you can, just give me a shout out here on the chat. Appreciate everybody here just giving me a shout out or a hi, Glenn, or hey, I know what you're talking about, or hey, that never happens to me. I don't know what you're talking about, etc. Appreciate a comment here on the chat. It helps me get the broadcast out to more people. Okay, so I think we can all relate to it. And isn't it interesting as we learn about life, reading, writing, arithmetic, geometry, all that kind of stuff. No one ever taught us the fundamental reality was, how do we manage this life? How do we manage these conflicting thoughts, these conflicting emotions, these sense of this conflicting direction? Isn't that interesting? Everybody's got to figure it out for themselves, I guess. And some people do and some people don't. And what my observation was, and here I am, in this personal development field for many years and trying to improve myself every day and improve my performance. Yet there was a zone, I'll call it a zone, that just wouldn't budge. There's a zone that says, I know what I should be doing. I know what I'm capable of. I know I could be making more money, or I know I could be spending more time with my family, or I know I could start that second business, or I know I could drop 20 pounds, but I just don't feel like it. You have that inside you? It's like some little man or little woman in there that's going, no, I'm not going to do it. No, not going to do it. Oh, really? So you're having this conversation with yourself. And you know what? You talk to yourself every day. Everyone does. Why? Because we have these voices in our head, specifically at least two voices. One that wants us to improve and get better, and another voice that says, nah, that kind of, the tonality, what to do with that? Okay, so let's boil this down. Let's boil this down into energy. Now, energy has certain concepts, and of the dozens of energies that are going on inside you, I nail them down into two headings. The heading called high vibration energy, which is the energy that wants us to move forward, that wants us to be more, do more, have more, that has a vision of the life we have imagined. And we have the low vibration energy that wants to block that wants to get into, wants to interfere. And no matter what it is that we choose to be, do, or have, whatever it is, if we don't have it now, that means it's going to take focus, time, concentration, maybe money, maybe changing circumstances, changing your life. Great. Whatever it is that you want to be, do, or have, or you want to change, it's going to take that. Because if it didn't take that, you'd already have it, right? So this guy over here, his job or her job or its job inside you is to interfere with this person, is to interfere and to create chaos, distraction, disruption, procrastination, anything it can do to block this happening. That's why this is not a clear sale. This is why for most people, there's a blockage, there's a shutdown. And and you think, oh, well, gee, I said I was going to do this, but something happened and I didn't do it. Or, I made the commitment I was going to lose 20 pounds, but, and I was going great for 2 weeks and I don't know, something happened, like that. Sound familiar? Happens to all of us. Okay, so what is the answer to this? Well, the answer is, first of all, recognizing the energies going on inside you. Okay, so let's do this for a minute. Let's just take 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Go ahead and close your eyes for a minute. Take a breath. And just notice what it feels to be you inside. Just notice the thoughts moving internally. So you've got this whole workshop inside you, this whole, what can we call it? It's the operating system inside you. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, motivations, behaviors. And is this stuff running you, or are you running it? That's the question. Is it running you, or are you running it? For most of us, if you're not energetically trained, the energy inside you is running you. The thoughts are running you. The emotions are, in other words, they're pulling you into a direction. And one of the things I teach in energy awareness training is either you control your energy every day, or that energy is going to control you every day. In fact, I do in my trainings, teach specific exercises in the morning to let go, to release, to disconnect the low vibration energy that wants to keep us down or depressed or worried or frightened or scared. All the low vibration energy, emotions, fear, the big three: fear, anxiety, and worry. Okay, now imagine if you could eliminate that. How cool would life be? Get rid of your fear, get rid of your worry, get rid of your anxiety. And that's what we do. That's what we do in the training every day, in learning how to take back your energy and move into a sphere, a direction that will take you towards where you want to be. Again, if you learn nothing else, understand that there are energetic forces inside you pulling you in a certain direction because they have an agenda. I repeat what I said about energy. All energy, thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviors have a power, a purpose, a direction, a frequency, and it gives off information. And clearly in the human experience, we're dealing with energies that want to lift us up and have us grow. And we're also dealing with energies that want to bring us down or at least block that. So I think we're kind of clear on that. Comments, you guys get what I'm talking about? Hey, cool. Alex, hey, all right. Nikki, hi, great. Glad you're here. Well, a lot of people on the call today. Jay, thank you. Ian, good. Ann, love it. So not to know this is to fall into what I call the energetic traps of this world. See, if we're not aware that there are forces not only internally but externally, there are forces that want to build us up, that want to move us forward, that wants to have a happy life, and there are forces that want to delay that want to prevent that actually have their own agenda, that want to bring us into low vibration energy. Now, these energies operate internally as well as externally. So all you have to do is look around. By the way, don't believe anything I'm talking about when I'm mentioning this. Just use your own experience to see if this is your experience. I look around outside. Okay, you turn on the news. Every day, there's something trying to block peace. There's something trying to prevent unity, health, happiness, a oneness, the whole planet living in peace. There's always something in there trying to put it out there. There's a new war breaking out, right? Last week, there's the threat of war. Oh my gosh, where'd that come from? And now everybody's going, whoa. or a new disease that breaks out, or a new political situation. I mean, just look around and you're like, wow, every day there's something popping up. Where does it come from? Well, on this planet, we live in a world of duality. And this is something that should have been taught to us when we're kids. We're living in a world of duality. And it's important that we recognize this, because it won't be so shocking, and you'll be able to navigate the world you see. If there's an up, there's a down. If there's a good, there's a bad. If there's a right, there's a wrong. If there's a left, there's a right. Right? If it's night, there's day. If the tide goes in, the tide goes out. So there's constantly forces going from one side to the other. All right. So, and that's the way it is externally, we see it, and it's the way it is internally also. The way our internal mechanisms work is there's energies fighting for control, fighting for our attention. And in our thoughts, which we have roughly about 40,000 plus a day, 40,000 thoughts going through this head. Bing, 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 just bing, 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 thought, trying to direct us. Hey, what are we going to do? Oh, we should go out later. Oh, no, but I got to mow the lawn. Oh, no, I got to take the kids out this. No, I got to feed the dog. No, I got to work on that report. No, I got to see the relatives later. No, I got to just insane, right? Take a breath. By the way, what I just did was a great reboot. And if you're not using your breath, you're missing on one of the greatest tools you have to reboot. You know how when your computer gets fuzzy and it's not working, or it gets stuck, what do? The thing's not working, it's slow, that circular thing keeps going on. So what do? You turn off your computer and you reboot it. And usually you're feeling better. 3 good breaths, breathing in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, reboots your system. Big breath, not just little, not little breaths, but breathing from my head all the way here, breathing low, reboots your system. So use your breath throughout the day. That's one of the most important energy awareness tools you can learn, is to constantly be aware of your breath, because the way energy works is energy is meant to flow. It's meant to keep moving. That's why people who are happy, people who are healthy, keep moving, right? It's like water. Water keeps moving when it's clean. If you want it to stay stuck or get dirty, just have it not move. Put it in a glass and leave it there for 3 weeks and see what happens. So that doesn't move, right? So we want to keep our energy moving. I just thought I'd throw that in. Okay, talk about high performance and how to get out of the ruts. All right, well, let's talk about this kind of confidentially. Ruts. What's a rut? A rut is when you've got something going on and it's not satisfactory to you, and it's kind of bugs you, and you know you got to do something about it, but you don't. It's just this thing that lingers on and on and on and on and like that. So many of us experience it. We get into routines. We get into routines with our relationship, right? We get into routines with our career. We get into routines and habits. Habits form you. So many of our habits are unconscious, and we're unaware of how these habits work, but they have a tendency to run us. So if you're in a situation you're identifying where you're in kind of a rut, where kind of things, maybe this part of my life's going great, but this part of my life not going too good, or they're stuck. It's stuck energy. That's what I mean to tell you. So if you got a place where it's not going the way I wanted to, okay, most of us would think, I got to do something about it. Okay, well, I'm here to tell you, you need to get that energy moving. It's an energy around it, because remember, energy has form, and it has a direction, and it has a purpose. So the energies up here, the purpose of these energies is to lift you up, is to expand you, is to move you forward. The energies over here are to keep you stuck, block you, sabotage you, and pull you out of this place. Okay, and all you have to do is just notice internally. You make it. This is what one of the first exercises I give my students when I'm teaching them energy awareness, and that is, make a goal of something that you want to achieve that takes time, effort, commitment, money, something that maybe something short term. How about a new exercise routine for 2 weeks, or a new diet for 2 weeks, or learning a language or a musical instrument, something. 2 weeks. And watch the process that takes place, because it always starts the same. You start learning, you start losing the weight, you start moving forward in the exercise program, right? You're making progress. Week number 1, yeah. Week number 2, yeah. Week number 3, week number 4. Okay, I'll get back to it. That's the experience of how the energies work. You want to know how they work? Just notice what's going on inside you. Notice that there's a part of you that wants to move forward, wants to take it up, and there's a part of you that appears that wants to come back. Okay, now let's notice that this part over here, this low vibration energy, is so cunning that I'm going to shed some light on how it works. Maybe you can relate to this. So let's go to this goal, this 2-week goal that you're going to make here. You watch the internal energies bringing you forward, having you move forward. You're excited about it. Well, why is it that in 2 to 3 weeks that the energy starts to subside? Your motivation starts to subside. It gets tougher. You're like, hey, where was that? Where was all the good stuff? You could even say that in marriage. Hey, we had a great honeymoon. It's 5 years later. What happened to all the good stuff we had in the honeymoon? Where did it go? It's a whole different new energy form, isn't it? So, point being here, energy changes form. These energies change form inside you. And they don't announce it. They don't say, okay, okay, Glenn, you had your 2 weeks, and now here comes the low vibration energy. Just want to give you a sign that says, okay, I'm here to sabotage you. I'm here to hold you back. I'm here to put a big rock, in the way of your goals, dreams, and ambitions. Here we are. Come on, gang. They don't announce themselves. These are internal workings inside us that you either notice them and are aware of them, or you're unaware of them and they do their work. Kind of like a mosquito. You ever notice that? A mosquito never announces, dun, 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 I'm here to bite you and suck your blood. Okay, just wanted to announce my presence. No, it's just the opposite. They're covert. They're sneaky. That mosquito doesn't want to encounter you. So it strikes when you're not aware, when you're asleep, or when you're distracted. And you hear that little buzz behind your ear, and this little bug that weighs 1/100 of an ounce can have a grown man or woman go, mosquito, get away, right? Isn't that amazing? Just that one little energy. There's something out to get me. There's something that wants to take my blood, etc. Okay, well, that's the energies that are going on inside you and going on inside of me and going inside every human being. It's the challenge of life, the challenge to be able to deal with our internal structures and our internal mechanisms. Now, in energy awareness training, what we do is we identify what these energies are. First off, you got to be aware of what's going on. If you're not aware, it's like the guy who falls in the uncovered manhole. The guy's walking down the street. I'm falling on the uncovered manhole. Why? You didn't see it. Well, there was a sign there. I didn't see the sign. Okay, if you don't see it, you fall into the manhole. You fall into the trap. But if you do see it, now there's something you can do about that. So let's identify a few of how the low vibration energy tries to pull us out of our high performance, or tries to keep us stuck in our ruts. Okay, so let's go to think of something that you'd like to start, something that would benefit your life, something that would enhance. Okay, that one thing you've been putting off, right? Or the program, exercise program. Maybe you want to learn a new language. Maybe you want to get out in nature. There's something going on inside you that is being neglected, or something that boy, if I took that accounting course, that would be great on my resume. I'd make more money. Or if I did this action or did that action. We all know we're capable of so much more. All of us know that. We know that inside our hearts. And yet this guy says, yeah, you're capable of so much more. And one day you're going to get there. But for now, take it easy. For now, what's on TV? But for now, let's go shopping. Whatever it can do to distract. So this guy wants to distract this energy from fruition. So when I talked about the 2-week goal, I wanted you to, and some of you have already had the experience of, you start to notice there's an energetic shift going on, like with the honeymoon. It starts one way, ends up in another. Hopefully, honeymoon, you can keep the honeymoon going in your marriage the rest of your life. But for most people, that's not the case. But it's possible, especially if you're energetically trained, because you recognize when the energy's starting to go south. And when you recognize that, that's where your power comes from. All right. So let me go through a couple of things that might ring your bell on this. So if you think of that thing that you really want to do or be or have that you're not doing yet, thing that would add great value to your life, why aren't you doing it? So you ask yourself, my life would be so much better if okay, well, why aren't you doing it? Okay, well, here's where this guy comes in. And this guy comes in and says, when I get around to it, when I get around to making that change, then I'm going to do it. When you get around to it, right? You've heard that one? When I get around to it. Oh, So what does that mean? Does that mean, this is what the low vibration energy is telling you when you get around to it. Does that mean that that in your journeys and in your walks around life that suddenly oh, I've gotten around to it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, okay. Okay, I'm around to it now. No, that never happens. You never get around to it, right? Why? Why do you never get around? Because there's always something else going on. There's always a new thought, something else to look at, some new project, something to look up online, somebody to get back to. So you never get around to it. So that's line number one of the low vibration energy. Here's another good one. I love this one. When I get some time, let me start my exercise routine. When I get some time, I'm going to, learn that second language or take that business course. When I get some time. Oh, okay. So what you're telling me is that one day, not today, but someday in the future, the great masters of the universe are going to come to you and say, here is some more time for you. More time. This is a gift of more time for you. Enjoy yourselves. You're thinking that's not going to happen. But this guy wants to make you think it's going to happen. When I get some more time. Well, you know what? We all have a certain amount. We got the same amount of hours every day. We got 24. You got 24. I got 24. Does this guy have 26? Maybe that guy's got 28. No, it's all 24 hours that we have. What do we do with it? So that's a fallacy. But you notice when I get time is procrastination. And procrastination is a low vibration energy, meaning that it puts you in a place that's not optimal. It's putting you in a place that ultimately is going to create more chaos, more heaviness, and more suffering. Because when I'm putting something off, when you put something off that you know that you need to do, okay, you're saying, not now, later. I'll do it later. Okay, when later? I'll let you know. Well, later. Later is this vague place that we go to. There is no later. Procrastination or putting things off is a subtle way of wanting to escape dealing with something and wanting to put it off because one day, because I'm going to put it off because, Tuesday I'll feel like doing it. Really? Thursday I'll feel like doing it. Next week I'll feel like, no, you won't. You won't feel like doing it any more than you feel like doing it right now. But that's the trap of the low vibration energy. If it can pull you into later, then it's got you. And it's doing its job, which is to take you out of feeling whole, feeling fulfilled, feeling in charge, feeling in energetic alignment. It wants to pull you out of that and into a place of anxiety, stress, worry. Now, here's the trap of the low vibration energy. What it does is it temporarily gives you an ounce of pleasure so that it can whack you with a pound of pain. So I procrastinate the test, or I procrastinate the getting in shape, or I procrastinate stopping smoking, or whatever it is, thinking that later I'm going to feel like doing it. Well, here's the bell ringer. Do I have my bells? Here's the bell ringer. You guys with me? The bell ringer is later is always going to show up as now. So in other words, there's never a later when I go, okay, I'm going to do this later. And you never hear someone going, hello? Yeah, it's later. Later's coming. Okay, remember you said you're going to do it later? Okay, it's later. It's later. It always shows up as now. Because later, you're going to be in a situation where I'm either going to do this thing or I'm not. I feel good about it. I don't feel good about it. And now is the moment of action. Not later, now. So if I'm putting off taking action until later, right? I'm in some imaginary place, some imaginary time out in the future that magically it's going to just come and later is going to be here. So one of the traps of the low vibration energy is to take us out of right here and right now, being present. And that's how this energy robs us of our time, robs us of our life. Because it'll either take us into the past, into, what happened and what should have happened, and I got a bad break, and why did this happen to me, and keep living usually the low vibration energies from the past, or it takes us out into the future, into later. Yeah, do it later. I don't want to deal with now. Deal with it later, because it doesn't want to be present. So right here and right now is the only time we ever get life. Right here, right now, this moment. This is where our lives are given to us, and this moment is always changing. Right? This moment becomes the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. So it's the awareness of how energy works and how the low vibration energy uses time to disrupt us, to disrupt our program for what it is that we want to do. Now, if this is ringing a bell here, you guys, go ahead and give me a chat. Just give me a shout out here on what we're talking about. Well, let me continue this. Okay, here's another one. Our finances. We say, well, someday I'm gonna get rich. Someday I'm gonna work on my finance. Someday I'm gonna get into investments. Someday I'm gonna like that. Meanwhile, the clock's ticking. Meanwhile, what you do today creates tomorrow. What you don't do today creates tomorrow, creates the next moment of now coming your way. So whether it's your health or whether it's your finances, whatever it is, if you're putting it off, or if you're not in a situation or performing at the level that you know you're capable of, you're dealing with low vibration energy. You're dealing with an energy that has an agenda. And that agenda is to keep you stuck in the rut that you're in and to perpetuate it. And it doesn't want you to learn about high vibration energy. It doesn't want you to learn about energy awareness. There's an actual force. I'm dealing with the force that's opposed to my work. That doesn't want me to teach people how they can free themselves from the bonds and the chains of low vibration energy. It wants to keep you the same. That's the way the energies work, right? The energies of duality, the energies of polarity that I talked about earlier in the class. So what happens is that if you keep putting stuff off or wait till later or not dealing with it or not doing what you know you can do, that's creating an energetic flow, an energetic pattern. See, what we do, everything that we do, we're energetic beings. So we're putting out energy and we're receiving energy at the same time. Remember, world of duality? Okay. So I have a saying that says, life doesn't come to us, it comes from us. I repeat, life doesn't come to us, it comes from us. So what I see out in my world, out here, is a continuation of what I've got going on in here, in my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, and my behaviors, in my motivations and the directions, all of that stuff. So if you like what you see out here, great, you created it. If you don't like what you see out here, congratulations, you created it. Now, you may have heard that before, but here's where I'm going deeper. You create that by the energy that you're in. I'm going to repeat that. You're creating your reality by the energy that you're in, the energy that you vibrate, the frequencies that you're in. And these frequencies and these energies create our lives. And for most of us, if we're not consciously directing and driving our energies and our frequencies, it's like being out in a boat in the middle of the ocean and being out in the middle of the ocean, you're in a sailboat and nobody's driving the boat. Well, if you stop steering the boat, steering the sailboat, what's going to happen? the wind or the conditions or whatever are going to take over. And it's not going to be long before that boat's going to capsize. Why? Because if you leave the driving to nature or to chance, what normally happens? This guy, chaos, confusion, or at the very least, the same thing. At the very least, what will happen is, if you're not energy aware, is what you got going on, the continuation of it. And to get out of those ruts, that's the number one thing when people come to me for coaching, or I'm doing my online classes. What do they want to? They want to get out of a rut. They're in a situation that they don't like, and that they're not able to do anything about it, and they feel stuck. Well, I'm identifying these things, and then I'm going to give you the solution. So, last thing I want to mention is in this form is, so there's always excuses that we have for not performing. Why aren't you out of that rut? Well, I got this, I got this thing, and well, how come you haven't left that unhappy relationship? Well, I got things that's going, or how come you haven't started the, your exercise program or your diet? Well, this thing, and I've got this thing at work, and, I've been really busy, and I'm taking this thing. Okay, great. All rational. We are incredibly rational beings, right? We're taught that intellect and rationality is the importance, and that we must be rational, and that we must be, use our intellect, and that's what moves us forward. Well, sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. In this case, you either have what you want, or you have the reasons why you don't. Either what you want or the reasons why you don't. Now, if you think about the things that you don't have, you got some pretty good reasons. And you've got some logical reasons. I haven't been able to do my exercise program because it's been raining outside. You don't expect me to go out and, do my walk or jog in the rain, do you? I know I was going to do I was going to get on my new diet, but I had clients coming in from out of town, and we were eating out every night, and, we're going to great restaurants, and, yeah, makes perfect sense. I can't start that new class because I'm coming home tired at night, and I just don't feel like it. I buy it. All excuses are equal. They're all equal. No judgment, no criticism. It's just, hey, whatever it is, it's equal. You either have what you want, or you have the reasons why you don't have it. And here's what you haven't recognized. Who do you think's giving you the reasons why you don't have it? What energies that I talked to you about today are giving you the reasons why you don't have it? The low vibration energy. That's right. So what you've been unaware of is that there is a force that's feeding you. This has an agenda to bring you over here. And this energy wants to lift you up. This energy wants to bring you down. So energy awareness is the missing link to be able to identify what's the processes inside you. You notice how we feel when we make an agreement, or we go into a project and we say we're going to do something, and we give our word, and we make the commitment, and we're all gung-ho, and we don't follow through. You know how that feels? Everybody on this call knows how it feels. Terrible. Like, oh, I know I said I was going to do it. And then people, hey, how's your weight loss thing going? Or how's your exercise routine? Or how's your new thing going? Well, it was going good for a while. And they go, oh, you didn't do it, huh? And you feel yucky, right? As opposed to when you said you were going to do something and you followed through, you put the time, you put the effort, you put the commitment, you put the money, whatever it took. And how's that going? Yeah, I finished it. I completed it. I know when I was working on my website for a long time, if those of you haven't seen it, it's called energyawareness.training.com, energyawareness.training.com. People would say to me all the time, hey, where's your website? I'm working on it. Okay, when's it going to be done? Soon. When's it going to? Soon. I was working on it, working on it, working on it. People were asking me about it. And when you're working on anything, it always takes longer than you think. It always takes longer than you, I don't care what it is. It always takes longer than you think. So I thought it was going to be 3 months. It took me about 5 months to rewrite it and get everything the way I wanted it, et cetera, et cetera. And then finally, through commitment, through focus, through dedication, through just trying again and again and again and again, and keeping my energy in alignment in high vibration energy and staying out of the low vibration energy, finally I got the site done. And then when people are going to me, hey, how's your website? I go, it's up, got it together, check me out, I'm online. What a great feeling. I followed through on what I said I was going to do. And it took effort, and it took persistence, and there was resistance, and there was disappointment, and there was blowback, and I kept going, I kept going, I kept going, and I got it rolling. And it's the greatest feeling in the world. And everybody here knows that, whether it was getting your degree, learning a new skill, following through on an exercise or a diet, whatever it is, when you follow through, man, you feel great. Well, guess who is trying to prevent you from feeling great? Guess what energy in there is feeling great? And I heard it myself. I heard this voice going, do you really want to do this? Is it really worth going for it? A lot of people don't have them. Why should you have one? Plenty of very logical reasons. And I had plenty of great excuses. I had a problem with the website. I had a problem with the server, the copy. I had to go through a couple of different web design guys. I had to redo stuff. Videos that I shot, didn't get published, or there was something wrong with the camera. I mean, all these setbacks. And that's the way it is in life. Whatever it is, if you want to be extraordinary, if you want to be, have the life you imagine, and you don't have it right now, that means that there's a process that has to take place for you to get to that next level. There's something that you need to do that you're not doing now. There's a task, there's an energy, there's a whole new way of being that you need to be if you're going to get that thing. Because if you keep doing what you're doing now, you're not going to get it, right? You know that, I know that, everyone knows that. And yet the ability to get over that hump to dealing with this person is almost insurmountable, all right? Okay. Is this making sense to you guys? Hope so. All right. Let's go into what to do about this. How do you guys like my glasses? Kind of new glasses here, kind of. I don't know about them yet. Let me know. Okay, so how do we deal with this energetically? Okay, the first thing that you need to do energetically is be clear on what that thing is. Like, for example, if it's taking a course at night, maybe you've got a family, maybe you've got kids, and going to night school is something that would take away your time from your family. Okay, that's the price that you'll pay for taking that class, right? Or maybe, your workouts, doing a daily workout would maybe take away time from getting together with your friends, at the coffee shop or at the cafe. Okay, whatever it is, there's a price that you're gonna pay for moving up, because right now you're occupying that time doing something else. Okay, so at that time takes an hour a day from whatever you're doing with, let's say it's between 8 and 9 o'clock, could be an hour, could be 2 hours, whatever taking the class or the activity is. Right now, there's something that you're already doing in that time slot that you're receiving benefit from, or that you're doing something for. Okay, that time is already spoken, whether it's spoken or unspoken. So maybe you're not even, I don't know, what do I do between 8 and 10 every night, or whatever the time is that the class or the activity would take, It's going to substitute from something. Be aware of what that thing is that's going to substitute for. So in the example of maybe you're taking a business class to further your resume, or to learn a new skill, or to get out of the job that you're having and learn a new skill, maybe that's going to take 2 hours a night, or 1 hour, or one night a week for 2 hours plus study time. Great. So be aware of what you're going to put in place to that. There's something you're going to substitute for that, and you're going to be aware of that, because it's going to be a confront when that time comes for you to do whatever it is to take that class. There's going to be a tug from this guy going, hey, isn't this supposed to be your family time? Or, hey, my favorite show's on this time. What are you doing? Hey, there's going to be a pull. There's going to be a pull to take you out of the thing that you know would be best for you and be good. There's going to be a pull to distract you, to create distraction, disruption, disconnection, procrastination. And that's the beginning of how the energies work. So number one is make a decision of that thing that you want to do, and be aware of, in the time that it's going to take, because it's going to take time, it's going to take energy, could take money, etc. What are you going to put in place of that? What are you willing to say, okay, I'm willing to put aside some family time temporarily for me to be able to take this class, or maybe to be able to develop this skill. Okay, you're aware of that. So now you've got awareness on the activity that you're doing, so that when the low vibration energy starts to pull you out, going, hey man, you know, you always do this at this time, you're like, oh, I've committed, I've made a decision to do this thing, and I'm fully willing to pay the price of, you know, no TV or no family time or whatever it is. That's the price I'm paying to be able to substitute this thing. For some of you, maybe it's getting up an hour earlier to be able to do your exercise routine, or, you know, for my students to do the energetic exercises I give you every day. They only take about 15 minutes, but you'd be surprised. You know, when I have a new student and I start teaching them how to take back their energy and move out all the low vibration energy and create a high vibration energy frequency to go out into the world, I say, you know, it takes about 15. In the beginning, maybe it starts with 5 minutes, takes 10, make 50, you know, about 15 minutes for you to be able to get yourself in energetic alignment. It's easy to do. It's easy not to do. So no matter what you decide to do, you're gonna, the LVE is gonna crop up and going, oh, well, I want to sleep 15 more minutes. Come on, you know, you have to be clear that no, this is the time that I committed to be able to do that, and I'm going to keep my commitment. And I understand giving up maybe that 15 minutes or that 30 minutes of sleep in the morning is the price I pay for moving forward. Okay, that's one, making the decision. And along with that, number two is the commitment. The commitment to be able to say, I know there's going to be challenges. I know I'm going to be moving in an uncomfortable zone, and I'm committed to doing that. Okay, we're going to come back to that commitment here in a second, because commitment means it's like, I'm not going to run when the going gets tough. I recognize there's going to be challenge, and commitment is the difference between no matter what and a good excuse. There's a difference between no matter what and a good excuse. You know, when we were in school, it's funny how we were so productive in school. Why were we productive so in school? Because we were in a situation where we had to produce. And that brings us into number three. You've got to put yourself in a situation where you have the thing that you're doing, the new project or the new activity, it's got to be planned. It's got to be planned in your schedule. So you have to know, if you've got a workout routine, when is it going to happen? It's going to happen, let's say 5:30. I'm working out 5:30, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's on my schedule. It's on my agenda. It's on my schedule. You know, there it is. It has to be scheduled. It can't be, well, I'll get around to it, or, you know, when I feel. It can't. because I guarantee you, this guy will make sure that when the time comes for you to do it, you don't feel like it. Does that happen to you? You don't feel like it. And if you're moving in, if you're letting emotions run you or drive you, you're going to end up in the ditch. You're going to end up in the low vibration energy, because the low vibration energy knows how to manipulate your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And that's why sometimes it's happened to me. That's how I know this so well. I make a decision to do something, and it's like, it's Monday, and first thing at work, I'm like, I'm having a great day. I got to plan my workout. Okay, 5:30 today, we're going to work out. Okay, okay, great. Going to work out at 5:30. Well, I'll tell you what, when 5 o'clock rolls around, you're going to feel like doing it. Or maybe you will for a week or two, but it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And you've got to be able to know how to let go and dissolve the resistance that's cropping up inside you, or else the resistance will overcome. So you've got to have this thing planned out if you're going to do this thing right. Okay, you've got to know, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's that simple. Now, okay, so we've made the decision, we've made the commitment, we have this thing planned out. Okay, then what do we do? Okay, what you have to do is the next level of this is to be able to get supported on what you're doing. Supported on what you're doing. So, if you're working out, for example, I mentioned working out because that seems to be the thing that people have the most resistance to. Working out, your diet, whatever it is, you need to have accountability. You need to have accountability. And this is the make or breakthrough part of the ability to get you to move from low performance to high performance, is accountability and the ability to measure your results. And that's why there are coaches. That's why coaching is probably the strongest way to be able to ensure that you maximally perform, that you get it done. Why? Because when you have a coach, that coach is bringing is bringing nothing but high vibration energy. High vibration energy. Now, in your mind, remember, you have part of you that wants to do this thing, and you have part of you that doesn't want to do it. So you've got tug of wars going on internally all the time, and you're going to have them no matter what it is you choose to do, because there's going to be resistance. When you get a coach, someone that holds you accountable, someone that empowers you to be your best, you're out of your head now. and all this stuff goes away, because the coach doesn't put up with any nonsense, any exercise, or any, let's do it late, do it later, or I don't feel like it. No, the coach is, hey, get this thing done right here, right now. Michael Phelps is training for the Olympics next year, and he's in major training. The Olympics, man, they're coming next summer, one year. And I'll tell you, all the Olympic athletes are in major training, and they're working with their coaches every single day, and they're measuring performance, even a hundredth of an inch improvement. Why? Because it's a focused effort. A focused effort. Now, if you're writing this down, write that down. A focused effort. Some would say a fanatical effort. Fanatical effort. You ever heard that word? A guy's a fanatic. You can especially see that in football. You see the fans, they paint their faces up, and they come in their favorite colors, and they live and die by every play of the football game. It's called fan. That's why they call them fans. Hey, that's why you're called fans. Fans are short for fanatic. Yeah. Okay. So what is that? It's that energy that is totally laser focused and will not stand for anything that's not high vibrational energy. So the questions that you want to ask yourself is, what's my level of commitment? My level of commitment is, okay, I need to commit, I need to decide, but you know yourself pretty well. And there are going to be times when you let yourself slide. they're going to when you buy your own BS, when you'll go, oh, should I work out or should I work out? Well, that's a good reason. That's not a good reason. As long as you're in the energies of low vibration energy, that's going to stunt your performance. That's going to pull you back. There was a guy who played for the Raiders. I won't mention his name, but this is about 10, 15 years ago. He was this young kid, and he was a prodigy, a child prodigy quarterback. And he was and he got signed. He skipped college and he went right into the pros. And he was the starting quarterback for the Oakland Raiders for a while. And tremendously talented, did great, I think, his first season. But he had a drug problem. He had a need to F himself up. He had to mess himself up. And people go, what are you doing? You're a quarterback for the Oakland Raiders. You're freaking 22 years old. You're signing $1 million contract and you're messing yourself up. You're fooling with drugs. You're going out and getting drunk and they don't see you for 2 days, or you come back with, failing the drug tests. Mind-boggling. Now, he had everything that we talked about so far. He made a decision. He made the commitment. He put himself in a place where he was getting supervised, but he didn't have someone working with him that was dealing with the inner energies, the inner thoughts, the emotions, the energy, what I call the historical low vibration energies from his past. He didn't have anybody working with him on that. So he was dealing with some kind of trauma or some kind of childhood abuse or whatever it was. And that energy was pulling him into low vibration energy. It kept pulling him. And the high vibration energy says, man, you got the world by the tail. Holy smokes, doesn't get any better than this. You got your dream job, you're getting paid millions of dollars, you're doing well, you're blessed. Yeah, but remember what happened to you earlier in your life? Remember what those guys did to you? Do you remember that shame or that guilt that you went through? Let's medicate ourselves. Let's do something to numb the pain. Let's do something. And ultimately, what that voice was really saying to him is it said, let me mess you up. Let me sabotage your whole life. Let me take all that you've worked for and all that you've achieved and let me wreck it and let me blow it up so that you'll suffer and that you'll be miserable and you'll be ashamed and your father will hang his head in despair and guilt of what you did to him. Let's do that. So those are the options, up or down. What happened to him? Unfortunately, I hate to say it, this guy went out and he succeeded in completely sabotaging his career, became a drug addict, got kicked out of the NFL, and it's been having a rough time ever since, still having a rough time. Why is he having a rough time? Because he didn't get the coaching that he needed. Even though he got coaching on how to throw the football and how to run the plays, he didn't get the coaching for what was going on inside of him internally. He decided to deal with it on his own. And I'll tell you what, it was Albert Einstein who said, you can't solve a problem with the same energy that created it. You can't solve a problem with the same energy that created it. So one of the things I've recognized in becoming energetically aware is if you want maximum performance, you've got to work with a coach. You've got to work with somebody who's committed to being over here in your life and willing to pull you up. And I'm happy to say that I work with coaches. I'm a coach and a trainer and a healer and a musician. I do all these things. And I have a coach, a couple of them actually, that I go to specifically to deal with my game. to deal with my life, to deal with what's working and what's not working. And you would say, well, gee, Glenn, you're a coach. You do that for a living. Why do you need one? The answer is because I'm still dealing with this guy. Now, not as much as before. His influence used to be up here with me. Now it's barely, you can barely see it. But I know that I can't see my whole life 360. You can't see your life from a 360-point degree. There are blind spots, there are habits, there are energies that you're dealing with you're not even aware of. And when you do become aware of it, you'll go, holy smokes, I had this going on inside me and I didn't even realize it. Whoa. And this is the path that we're on here. This is the journey that we're on here on this planet. We're here to awaken. We're here to heal ourselves. We're here to recover. Recover from what? Recover from what we've been through. All of us have been through challenge and emotional upheaval and trauma, all that stuff. And the wisdom of the past used to say, well, it's over, get over it. It's in the past, it's not real. But that's not the way energy works. See, this is a fundamental thing. Energy doesn't work that. Energy just appear and then disappear, especially the emotions and the upsets and the traumas we go through. According to the best-selling book I talked to you about, it's on the best-selling list by Dr. Vanderkloot, talks about how the body remembers trauma. The body remembers upset emotions, and it stays with us. It sticks to us. Now, I use the energetic analysis or the energetic awareness metaphor, but actual doctors are discovering this energy doesn't leave us. It stays with us, and it stays with us to sabotage the rest of our lives. And what a great example of that is the returning soldiers from Afghanistan, from Iraq. These guys that went through some pretty powerful low vibration energy. They were traumatized. They were emotionally upset. Some of them were almost killed. And that's an energy force that they experience that attaches itself to our bodies. And when they come back here, they come back here and people say, okay, well, that was then, this is now. Oh, really? And yet you still have flashbacks, and you still have nightmares, and you're still walking on eggshells, and they still have behaviors that are out of control. You see that also with people who were, abused by clergy, who went through some, sexual abuse. It happened 50 years ago, right? But it's still with them as if it happened yesterday. These are the energies that I'm talking about that affect us and that are still living for most of us inside us. My work is all about identifying what these energy patterns are, where they come from, and how they're affecting you. The hidden energy patterns, identifying them and dislodging them and releasing them and disconnecting from them so that you get out of this energy and move into this energy, into high vibrational energy. And you can do it. The skills are very simple, but yet they're effective. And I've got many, many different tools to be able to help you with. And that's why I do these broadcasts and let you guys know how this stuff works. So these are what I wanted to cover today about how this works. The last ringer that I mentioned about this, if you're serious. So, what do we talk about? We talked about deciding, we talked about committing, we talked about putting yourself in the environment that supports you. We're talking about being able to schedule a time where you're going to do these things. And the last part of this is to get a coach. If you're serious about moving forward, get a coach. You can use me. There's a lot of people are coaching these days. It's a growing industry. Why? It's a growing industry because it works. Because coaching works. When you work with someone, who knows what they're doing and has had a great track record of success, you can't help but move forward. You can't help but move out of the stuff. And when I got one, I thought I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Glenn, you've gotten as far as you can go doing it yourself. Why don't you get a little help with that? I mean, when I learned how to play football, I had a football coach. When I want to learn how to play guitar, I took some guitar lessons. I got a guitar coach. When I learned, energy awareness, when I started this path, I found the greatest teachers I could find who were coaching me. And I want to encourage you to do that also. And you think, Glenn, I don't know if I can afford it, or I don't know if I have the time, or I don't know. Well, whose voice is that? I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. Right now. Now is the only time you get. So, have a good talk with yourself and say, you know what? I'm not getting any younger. Life continues on. Don't I want to have the highest performance? Don't I want to have the things that I've aspired to? If I keep putting it into later, they're never going to happen. And the only reason why I haven't achieved it is because I haven't put it together. And all of us need help in doing that. So I encourage you guys, that's the last thing I want to leave you with here on the broadcast today. I encourage you guys to get a coach. Get coached, whether it's one-on-one coaching or get into a coaching group. But you need to have someone, you have to have another force inside you or around you that's encouraging you to move up, to move forward. And there's nobody who doesn't need coaching. Even the President of the United States has coaches. They call them special advisors, but that's pretty much what it is. When the president goes, what do I do now? I never dealt with this before. What you got to go to the experts who have and who know the way and who can present what the plans are and make the changes that you need to make. So I hope this has helped you today in the ability for you to get from where you are, anywhere, any rut that you're in, any energy that's stuck or that's not moving, any situation that you're just not satisfied with. There's a specific steps on exactly what to do about it. And you've heard the first four that I told you about. The last one is to get coached. Those of you who are interested in coaching with me, be happy to talk to you about it. You can Facebook me, Facebook Messenger, or send me an email. Actually, you're all on Facebook, so just messenger me with. If you have any questions about coaching and how that works, or you just wanted some basic information. It's the wave of the future, because now things are speeding up. Competition is really moving up in whatever we're doing. And here's the one thing I want to leave you with. Our society is changing dramatically right now. You guys are all familiar with artificial intelligence. You all know that in the next 5 or 10 years, things are going to be changing dramatically in this world. And so many of the people who have jobs now are not going to have them. For example, all these people who are driving Uber and Lyft, they're experimenting with driverless cars that they expect to be operational in 5 years or less. What's going to happen to all those people, right? So many of the deliveries and the stuff that the factory workers and stuff like that, all those jobs, grocery workers, cashiers, the whole middle class workforce is going to be dramatically eliminated by artificial intelligence. So what does that mean? That means the people who survive and the people who thrive are the people who see the future before it gets here and act accordingly. So I want to encourage everybody, don't think that you have the luxury of whatever thing that you're in is going to stay the same, because it's not. In the last 20 years, I've been in 4 or 5 different professions, and they all kind of came together here in the coaching and the training I'm doing. But so many of us, I know so many friends of mine who are on the call here. I knew you when you were doing this. I knew you when you were doing that. I mean, some of you knew me when I was a nutrition entrepreneur and I had a large sales organizations, or some of you knew me when I was doing, music composing here in Hollywood. Other of you've known me during doing the spiritual work that I've done. So be aware that things are changing. And if you're not keeping abreast of what's going on, if you're just thinking, oh, my thing's going to be here for forever, guess again. There's never been a better time for you to implement learning something new, a new skill, anything they're doing with online coding, computers. That's the wave of the future. The old stuff, digging coal or driving a taxi or, factory workers, those jobs are leaving and will be obsolete soon. So it's a wake-up call for you to get rolling. And if you got a challenge doing it, as most people do, get a coach. Get somebody on your side that is 100% relentlessly committed to your success. The funny thing about it is, for many of my students, I'm more committed to their success than they are. I'm more focused, more dedicated to their success. And my job is to be able to raise that energy level up to be able to get them to that place. Okay. All right. Just want to do a quick shout out to everybody. Appreciate you all being with me. I'm going to be back here with another broadcast probably later. So if you're around, give me a shout out, and I appreciate you. Love to all. You can, if you want to contact me, send me a messenger, and be happy to talk with you. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.